Welcome back to another exciting day in mathematics. Woo-hoo. Warm-up 16's on the screen. Today's going to go super fast like this. Watch. Bam. That fast. So stay focused, please. Like I said, we are going to move forward with another lesson, but it's going to go super fast. I'm telling you. So warm-up 16, let's get to it, please. Go. All right, I gave you guys a good head start. Here we go. Be nice. All right, get us started, please. Aubrey, what do I do? Okay, go. Thank you. What is the next thing we do? Pass them one. Mean. So how do you find the mean? Add them all up. So 10, 19, 26, 31, 33 divided by 5, and that gives us approximately 6.6. Hands, you got 6.6? Pass them one. Subtract by 6.6. Thank you. So that gives me negative 4.6, and we're going to square that. Negative 1.6 squared, 0.4 squared, 2.4 squared, 3.4 squared. All right, next. Check with the neighbor, see what they got for 4.6 squared. Then Camila is going to get us going on this. 4.6 squared. Camila, 4.6 squared. $21.16. 21.16. Hands if you got that. Looks about right. 1.6 squared. Pass them one. Kenny, 1.6 squared. 2.56. Kenny from the corner. Let's go. 0.4 squared, Mr. Q. 0.16. Oh, yeah, I got this. Now I get to pass it to someone. Let's go over here to Andrew. 2.4 squared. 5.66. 76. 5.76. David, 3.4 squared. All right, we'll wait for David. Everybody count. 1, 2. Oh, 11 point what? 56. All right, from there we need the sum again, or the mean. All right, calculators, calculate. Find the sum, please. All right, so next, you're going to take the same Clorox wipe. Okay. If you want to roll that cart over there by where you are at, okay, because there's a coffee maker in the box. You're going to take it out carefully because it's got glass, and then with a wipe the whole thing on the outside, and then bring it over here to the thing. Yeah. Thank you. Morning. Where was I? The sum. Let's go with Fernanda. What'd you get for the sum? 41.2 divided by 5. Approximately, what is our mean? Let's go with, who haven't we called on in a while? How about Val? What'd you get? 41.2 divided by 5. 8.24. Ooh, check this out. Who saw this? 8 and 24? No? Mamba mentality? No? What? Let's go. All right, let's go. Sigma, or standard deviation. What is square root of 8.24? Let's go with Blair. Square root of 8.24. 2.87. Let's get our bell curve going. All right, so our standard or our mean was what? It was 6.6. 6.6. So that means if we deviate from it one standard deviation up, we need to add to 6.6 the what? 2.87. So that gives us 9.57. Is that correct? 47. Yeah, I did that on purpose. See if you're paying attention. 9.47. All right. And then if we go one deviation down or below 6.6 minus 2.87, that should be 3.73. Yeah. Telling you. So that means this is what, guys? This is the norm. Label that, please. All right, copy the agenda. Warm-up number 16 is done. Today we're going to be covering proportions and percents. You've seen this before. Hopefully, your Algebra 1, Algebra 2 teachers showed you this before. And today I'm just going to do a quick reintroduction. We're moving forward with it, but I am going to leave you some home plate from that. Only 9 problems. Only. Right? Kind of like when you go buy a car, your payments are only $750 a month, only. Right? Only. See that, Riley? Only. Yeah, we got this. All right, so once again, warm-up 16 done, proportions and percents. Tonight's home play, 9 problems only. Once again, we're setting up for this afternoon. I'm going to have some coffee and cookies and ice water for your parents. Make sure, let them know to stop by if they're going to be on campus. All right, so I think that's it. Yeah, for right now, just chillax and I'll see if we need to build a new stuff. And I'll put it back on the in that part. Thank you. All right, copy this code, please. 5H62X. 5H62X. Also, do me a favor, if you have this handout signed, get that out, send it to the back, please, to the last person in your row. You have this handout signed and filled out, send it to the back. All right, and then could I have the last person take them over to Ms. Vargas in the back, please? All right, y'all ready? Yeah. Home plate for tonight is going to look like this. Once again, if your Nearpod code does not work, tell your neighbor where to go to get the home plate. To the YouTube channel, because this is being recorded as we speak. My goodness. All right, with that said, get a Cornell note. You do not need a Frayer model. Just copy the agenda. The objective, and it reads, I can solve multi-step one-variable equations, proportions, and compute percents. I can solve multi-step one-variable equations with proportions and compute percents. Copy that. I'll give you a minute. Set up. Once again, you don't need the big box. Earlier in my other period, I did take one away because I basically said it 1,000 times, put your mobile devices away, and they still kept saying this. Mr. Q, here, take my phone. Pretty much that's what they said. You know what I'm saying? So put it away. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? One variable equations. Don't copy this. Quick review. What are they? Two expressions that are equal to each other with one variable. Let me pause the music. They look like this. Don't copy this. You should already know this. Is this an equation? Yes, Mr. Q, because they all have equal signs. What else? An expression equal to another expression on all of them? Yes. And they only have one variable on each of these? Yes, that is correct. Non-examples. Why is this one not an equation? Well, because it doesn't have an equal sign. Why is this one not an equation? Because it's an inequality. Why is this one not a one variable equation? Because it has a squared, and at the end we get how many answers? 2. And this one, why is this one not a one variable equation? Because it has what? 2 variables, and so on and so forth. So, steps that we're going to take today to solve equations. We're going to simplify each side as much as we can, and then we're going to isolate the variable, which means leave the variable by itself. 4 terms that I am going to talk about. Pay attention to this one. Do not copy. Here it goes. First one, whenever you hear me say ratio, you think automatically fraction. Tell your neighbor what I just said. All right? Now, there's other ways of saying ratio. Look up to the screen. Watch. Whenever you're comparing 2 quantities, they can say, bless you, A to B, that's a ratio. A colon B, that's a ratio. But today I'm going to focus on what? On fractions. So make sure Chromebooks put away. I don't need Chromebooks right now out. And the denominator cannot equal to 0. So when I hear ratio, you say fraction. Yes? Ratio is fraction. All right. From there, when I say proportion, proportion is 2 fractions equal to each other. Tell you there what proportion is. Yeah, so whenever you hear me say proportion, here it goes, you should think 2 fractions equal to each other. Ratio, 1 fraction. Proportion, 2 fractions. Next, some of you are really familiar with this, especially some of you that are driving at the speed limit. So a rate, you guys see when you go out and you drive, it says 35 miles per what? Hour. Miles being distance, hour being time. What is that? 2 different units of measure. Miles per hour. So a rate is a fraction with 2 different units of measure. So look at this one. Miles per gallon. Have you heard that before? Yes, distance and gallons. However, when I say unit rate, that means that I want the actual fraction with 2 different units of measure, but I want it to the lowest term. That's why it's called a what? A unit. So look at this fraction here. Which one is easier to turn into 1? The bottom one, is that correct? You can reduce it to 1. That's what we call a unit rate. Unit rate. Are we there? All right, good intro. We got these 4 terms. That's what we're going to cover right now. So look up. Don't copy this again. It's going to go pretty fast, so stay focused. The ratio, what do you think when I say ratio? Fraction. Okay, so right away I think fraction. Okay, give me a second. Right away I think fraction. So there's my fraction bar. The ratio of number of bones in the human ears to the number of bones in the skull is 3 to 11. So you're like, what does that mean, Mr. Q? That means that this is a fraction. But I need to know which one corresponds to what. So look up. Which was mentioned first? The bones in the what? So that means the 3 corresponds to the ears. Which one was mentioned at the end? Skull. That means that 11 is the skull. So if I write my ratio, 3 over 11, check this out. We know that this is for the ears and this is for the skull. However, if they continue to give you more numbers, that means that you need to make a proportion. Tell your neighbor what that means. What is a proportion? What is a proportion? 2 fractions equal to each other. So look up. So then you do equal to fraction. Ready? Here we go. What information do they give us? There are 22 bones in the skull. So think about it. Where should I put that 22? Tell your neighbor, on top or on the bottom? Tell them why. Where should I go? Nick. Nick says on the bottom, hands if you agree. That is correct on the bottom. Why? Because the 11 corresponds to what? The skull. Same thing on this one. 22 corresponds to the skull. So once we have that number and they don't give any other numbers, this is what I want you to do. The empty space we fill in with x. Do we know how to solve these? Yes, Mr. T. Cross multiply. That's 11x. 3 times 22 is 66. Divide by 11. X equals 6. So it says, how many bones in the ears? 6. From 1 to 5, how comfortable are you with this setup? Where are we at? 5, 5, 5. Okay, copy this one for yourself. Example 1b. Copy the entire problem, please, on your notes, so you can have it as an example. And it reads, the ratio of red marbles to green marbles is 6 to 5. There are 18 red marbles. How many green marbles are there? I'll give you a minute for that. Copy and go. Goes out with this one. Check up, make sure the setup is correct. All right, see. Go with, who haven't we called on in a while? How about let's start with Javier. Tell me what to write to get started. What do I write? 6 over 5 equal to blank. Hands that you got up to right there. Okay? Next, what goes where? Let's go with Trin. What goes where? 18 goes on top. Let's double check that. It says red marbles, that means that's mentioned first, that goes with a 6. Green marbles is mentioned second, that goes with a 5. And this, they're telling us that it's what? 18 red. So does that correspond to that? Yes. And of course that's x, cross multiply. 6x equals 90 divided by 6. X equals 15. Hands if you got 15. From 1 to 5, how comfortable are you with these? Yeah, we got these, right? All right, so first one, done. Let's move on. Look up to the screen. Copy this one on your paper, please. Example 2a. This is going to go pretty fast, so stay focused. 3 over 9 equals 5 over m, and it says solve the proportion. Tell your neighbor, what is a proportion? Yeah, a fraction equal to another fraction. So 3 over 9 equals 5m, 5 over m. So I like to always start with the variable. So let's cross multiply to the variable. 3m equals 9 times 5 is 45. Let's solve. Divide by 3. M equals 15. Yeah, pretty straightforward, yes? All right, let's do another one. Example 2b. Copy this one. Negative 5 over 2 equals y over 8. Negative 5 over 2 equals y over 8. Once again, they're asking us to solve the proportion. What is a proportion, Sean? Ooh, Sean from the corner. That is correct. Yeah. And it looks like Camila is almost done with that one. Very good, Camila. All right, but let's pass it to Lali. What do I do? Go. Starting with 2 times y is 2y. Negative 5 times 8 is negative 40. Divide by 2. Y equals negative 20. Hands, have you got that? All right, copy this one. Example 3a. Solve the proportion. 6 over y minus 3 equals 2 over 7. Why is that one called a proportion? Loudly, pass them one. Nick, why is that called a proportion? Two fractions equal to each other. That is correct. All right, so go over this one together. I always start with the variable, so the 2 is going to multiply down over here, but now it's got two terms, which means I need to multiply times both. 2 times y is 2y. 2 times -3 is -6. Equals 6 times 7 is 42. Let's leave the y by itself, so we add 6, 2y equals 48. Last but not least, divide by 2, divide by 2, y equals 24. Is it coming back? Yes? Yeah? All right. No? Okay, Caitlin. Copy this one. Example 3b. G plus 3 over 5 equals 7 over 4. G plus 3 over 5 equals 7 over 4. Give me 1 minute. Go. All right. So with that said, we like I said, I always start with the variable. So the 4 multiplies on top times these 2. We should have gotten 4g plus 12 equals 35. Is that correct? So far so good? Therefore, answer G is equal to what? Let's go with, I haven't called Daisy. What'd you get, Daisy, in the back? 5.75? 5.75. Andrew, you got that? That is correct. So once you do the solving, isolating, all that. All right, so we got this, yes? All right, now that we got plenty of practice writing utensils down, look up to the screen. Look at this word problem. It says, let me pause the music. Ralph Lau of Germany flipped a pancake 416 times in 120 seconds to set the world record. Man, imagine that. Got a spatula. 416 times. You know what I'm saying? However, it says find the unit rate. So check this out. Look up, please. So in order to make it a unit rate, first I need a ratio. So I'm going to make a ratio with that. So what do I write? 416 over 120. Is that correct? And you're just paying attention. Don't write this down. Focus, please. Look up, please. From there, when they want me to find the unit rate, I make a proportion, and I need to figure out which number is easier to make into a 1, to simplify to a 1. Which one? The top or the bottom? The bottom. So I would make this a 1. That means the top is going to be our what? X. Therefore, 120x equals 416. Solve. Divide to 120 to both sides. X is approximately, let's see, 416 divided by 120, fits in there 3 times. 360, that's 56. Add a decimal and a 0. Fits in there 4 times. That's 480. Subtract, that's 80. I'll stop right there. This is 3.4. What does that mean? It says, find the unit rate. That means that for every second, he flipped the pancake how many times? Let's see, you try it, and I'll count it off. You guys try it. Ready? Here goes. Ready? 1 Mississippi. He averaged 3.4 flips of a pancake in 1 second. Let me count it off. Let's see, you have your spatula. Ready? Here it goes. 1 Mississippi. Okay. In 1 second. Anyways, maybe. Yeah, that's true. Okay, look up, please. If I gave you one of these, what is the first thing we do? Make a ratio, yes? From there to make it into a unit rate, we make a proportion, select which one becomes the 1, and solve for the x. All right, with that said, copy this one. Example 4b. 4b, don't copy the words, let's start from the ratio. Can somebody give me the ratio for this? Let's go with Kane. Give me the ratio. 5250 to 7. Came from the corner. Let's go. So, tell your neighbor, which one are you going to make a 1? Which one's going to be the 1 to make it the unit rate? The 7, yeah. So, he earns $52.50 in 7 hours. We want to find out how much they earn in 1 hour. Do the computation, please. Like your colleagues say, bruh. My goodness. Oh, you got it? Next, let's go. All right, who's got it? S equals what? Aubrey, go. 750. Hands if you got 750. So Corey earns 750 for 1 hour. From 1 to 5, I can provide you with unit rates. Yeah, we got this, right? Wow. All right. So last but not least, look up. This is going to go pretty fast. Percent is a compound word. Focus, please. Per meaning multiply by or times. Cent means, you heard cent before, right? Yes? That's a cent. Out of how many in a dollar? 100, right? That's why we can write that as 1 over 100. So if I was to say 25%, that means 25 times 1 over 100. Okay? So, copy this last problem, please. Example 5A, and copy that proportion to the right. Exactly how it is, because we're going to use these two fractions to solve for percentages tonight. And I'll show you how to use it using this problem. And it reads, find 30% of 80. Find 30% of 80. Find 30% of 80. On the side, you should have the proportion is over of equals percent over 100. You need this for tonight's home plate. All right. So as you're copying, for the sake of time, I start off by writing a blank proportion. There it is. Fraction equal to a fraction. Now look at the proportion I gave you over here. What is the one number that you see that's there already? 100, right? It's on the right side on the bottom, so you write 100. We're done with this portion. Let's see what they give us. 30%. Where does the percent go, on the left or the right? On the right on top, so that would be 30. You see how I'm following this? Yes? Let's see what else they give us. It says of 80. Where does the of go? On the bottom of the left side, so that goes right there. So what shall I write here on the empty space? X, that is correct. And the rest is history. Cross multiply, divide, X equals 24. Oh, good one, guys. Enjoy your home play. See you guys tomorrow. Make sure you tell your parents that I have coffee and cookies for whoever shows up and ice cold water. How about them apples? Woo! See you guys next time. Peace. Bye, guys.